things are happening because I'm live.
Ooh, I just joined you. Suddenly my computer comes to life. Welcome back, computer. You're live. Hey everyone,
And
welcome
welcome.
to
Yeah,
Fast Charging with BnB. I am the bear,
I am the Brian.
and we are the Fast Charging people. Yes, we are here for our 72nd episode where we have all the news that's fit to print. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's pit to front. I got it. We're ready.
All right. Where do you want to start?
I thought we'd start with Japan's Nissan is slashing EV costs and has also cut their use of rare materials.
Ooh. Okay, like what rare materials are being cut?
Gasoline engines, increasingly. The Leaf now sells for under 30,000, though small ice is still cheaper. And the Tesla is down to 43,000, and they're trying to make them cheaper still. So
What,
this is
weren't they
good.
getting rid of the Leaf?
You know, who knows, man? Who knows with these people, right?
Ye-
Uh,
sure. Who
yeah.
knows?
Who knows? Who knows? The company said development and manufacturing costs will be reduced by 30% in 2026 compared to 2019 levels. So,
How do you think they're going to do that?
scale. Increasing scale leads to economies of scale, leads to better prices.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I thought they were going to stop making them soon. But hey,
Yeah.
it's almost the only one that they have because, they've got that other one which I think we're going to talk about that later, huh?
I think we are.
Yes. Yes.
You know that VW is also slashing prices in China, especially? The ID4 is down 19% to $25,000.
I assume that's $25,000 US, right?
Yeah.
Why can't we get them at that price?
Well, Model 3s and Ys are also substantially cheaper in China. It's because they can build them cheaper and they don't have any import taxes or anything to face. So it makes it easier to sell them at a discount. The ID4 is deeply unpopular. The chart I saw had it ranked at number 50th in sales.
Out of 50? 50?
Well, that's the top 50. In China, that list is probably hundreds long. But
Yeah.
it's
One of the regular car dealerships that I frequent, they've had an ID4 on that lot, a used one, and it's been there. I swear it's been there for like 2 months now, and I don't know.
I
I just don't. There's something unappealing about it, and I'm not even sure what it is.
I bet they're upside down on it.
Oh yeah, at this point they have to be. Yes.
So if you look at the heading "Price War Heats Up," you can see Mach-E in China is down $5,700. BuzzForks is down 4,300, starting at 25 grand. BYD discounted some of its models 2,800. BMW i3, which is apparently still a thing, discounts of up to 14,000. 30 auto brands have participated in this price war with discounts, some of them up to 15,000.
That is pretty substantial. You mentioned BuzzForks. I saw my
I did.
first live BuzzForks 2 days ago, and
How many wheels?
it had four on there because it was still a new car. It was at a dealership. They actually had one at the dealership, and
Wow.
it didn't move. They were actually jump starting it.
Oh no.
They brought over a jumper pack because apparently they don't know exactly what they're supposed to be doing with that. So it was completely dead. Probably should have
Wow.
rolled it over the charger and at least left it there or something.
That would
But
be my guess.
yeah, that would have been a good idea. But I had to touch the black fender wells, and they are certainly plastic. But in person, they actually were shiny, and they weren't just like there was some sort of coating on it. It was a little awkward because people were actually looking at it, so I didn't want to start like fondling it. But I tapped on it. It was plastic, but it wasn't just like the flat black that you often see on the molding. So it was something, except, well, it was something and also still ugly because it was the complete fender well.
But I do
Fender.
think they look better in person.
I definitely think it looked better in person. There's
Yeah.
no question about that. But yet
Yeah.
still, it looks unfinished.
Volkswagen has got a ID2 coming out.
See, that's a cute little concept, which will never exist in real life.
Well, we get to see the real one tomorrow, apparently.
I bet you
Going to be
the.
about
Go ahead.
25, going to be about 25 grand. Go ahead.
I bet the wheels are going to be half that size.
Uh-huh. I
It's
bet they're going to use wheelbarrow wheels.
Yeah, and they're not going to have that nice looking flare that's on that. Uh,
No.
no, the wide body kit that's on there. No,
That window would not roll down.
no, they probably won't. But
And that glass is one piece all the way to the hatch.
oh yeah, I bet you it's going to have a metal roof, smaller wheels, no wide body kit, probably a door handle that's protrudes at least 3 inches. What else can we see wrong with this? It won't have that good lighting on it. So,
Well, I mean, you can just look at the Rabbit down below, the Golf GTI, and see it's probably going to look a lot more like that.
the white one,
The red one.
third picture.
Yeah,
That car is old though.
I know. I know, but I'm so disappointed with how the CGI gets translated into production these days that nothing surprises me anymore.
Oh, I'm still in shock. I wake up every day and I go, I can't believe Dodge did that with the truck. That's
I know. Scheduled to go on sale in 2025 at a targeted price of 22,500 euros and 19,970 pounds, which, by the way, I think is also the curb weight of the Hummer.
that's what she said. Um, maybe that didn't
She's
apply
a
then.
very strange girl.
Yeah, maybe that's her curb weight. Um,
Ah. Did you see
yeah,
this other rendering further down the page? The green one?
yeah, I'm looking at it.
That looks more realistic as far as cars go. Still a render, I'm sure. Maybe not, but I'm sure it's a render.
Son of a
It'll-
biscuit. I've got beeping going on in my ears,
Hmm.
and I swear
Should,
I've closed every one of those.
should probably get that checked.
Ah, yeah. Well, I went through all my tabs, and now I'm getting notifications when I said no notifications.
Oh, MD Hosty said Bear should not be talking about Mary Barra's weight like that.
Ooh, come on.
Oh, hey, do you
She
know that the
she is not a heavy person. I would not.
no, no. Do you know that the VW ID Buzz Lube has been confirmed for U.S. debut this June in California?
Debut meaning they're just going to show it to us, or is it for sale?
I think it's for show.
Oh,
No, no reaction to Buzz Lube. Okay, that's fair. It'll be. This is what we need for the U.S. market. It's got the longer wheelbase. It's still pretty hideous compared to the renders. Disappointing. Very disappointing in terms of the looks. But hey, what are you going to do?
you're going to hope for something better. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah, or just buy something different. But in terms of volume of space for dollars, it seems like it'll be one of the better options.
I'm going to tell you something. As
Please.
far as Volkswagens go, out of all the Volkswagens that are currently on sale right now, this is probably the most exciting one.
For
Without a
me
doubt.
too.
Yeah,
For me too.
because
Uh,
the rest of them are just what's it called, milk toast. It's just like
yeah.
it's just kind of there, right in the middle of like nothing. It this
And I
one
don't
does have.
expect a van to. I don't expect a van to be sexy and exciting.
I think they can be on the outside, and then having lots of features on the inside. Some people really like the way that a Pacifica looks, or the Sienna with their big sloping tail lights. You can make them a little bit more interesting as opposed to just a box, because they used to just be boxes or eggs like the Previa, if you remember that.
Oh yes, I do. I do. Wasn't that mid-engine?
Yeah, it was. It was. So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I mean, it's got some sort of style, and it's definitely the best, um, the best looking Volkswagen out right now, or that will be out, because the other ones
Yeah.
just are so blasé. You know,
You know who is going to make a sexy, voluminous electric SUV?
Pamela Anderson.
Is she?
Well, you said voluminous, right? Or was that
Yes.
voluptuous?
It was voluminous, but I am not familiar with the volume of Pamela Anderson. But I think that's a topic for a very different show. Again, on my OnlyFans. Alfa Romeo's family is growing, literally and figuratively, on top of a new supercar that sold out before anyone's even said build it. And a slew of EVs on the way. They're now planning to make a large SUV.
Yeah. This. Where's the pictures? Where's the renders? At least.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we can see a grill of any Alfa Romeo.
Yeah. That's. Oh, that's got me. I'm sold on that now.
Yeah. Great. Build it. If it's not outrageously priced and if it's modestly reasonable in terms of reliability and performance, it'll sell. Quit telling us. Build it.
Do you know what Alfa Romeo sales are? Like, how do they do
Oh,
worldwide? Because
microscopic, I'm sure. Somebody should look that up and let us know in the chat.
yes, because we're just moving our fingers around, and we don't have time for things like that.
Isn't that how they speak in Italy, where the Alfa Romeo is
Hey,
designed?
yeah, let's make some Alfa Romeos and some spaghetti.
Oh dear. So it's that kind of show today. Hey, do you know that 31% of new cars sold above sticker price last month?
Did I know that?
Yeah,
You think I didn't know that?
yeah. It was worse. It was something like in the 48% of them in July. So 31%, I guess, is slightly better.
There, yeah, and I went through this list here. I guess they had the top 10 models with the biggest premiums, and then they had the ones that had the lowest premiums. But
What'd you find?
I found that I disagree with some of these things.
Yeah.
I know as far as the Wrangler and the Wrangler Unlimited, my local dealership here, they've got tons of Jeeps on site, and I know that last spring, they were not asking markups on these new vehicles, on the Wranglers and the Wrangler Unlimiteds, and now their lot is full. I know which car dealerships lots are full and which ones aren't.
Hmm.
At least here in Arizona, Chevy, they're empty, and going down further down this list, we've got like the Sierra 1500, the Silverado. Those are their base pickup trucks. The dealership that I frequent a lot, they have Silverados. They're pretty base, and they're stickering at 45,000, and they have up to $10,000 off of those trucks. And I actually considered it.
Whoa.
That's a decent price. Now, Traverse a little bit down below. Uh, Last month we added two Traverses to our fleet, and they were out the door at 40,000, which means they sold for about 36.
Wow.
Uh, Now, the vehicles I'm having the hardest time finding are not on this list up top. Toyota Sienna, can't find them anywhere, and a lot of dealerships are charging upwards of $10,000 markups. Uh, Kia Sportage is a new one that I've been looking for. You know, the hybrid model of that, Kia Sportage, which is a midsize SUV, uh, $29,000 for that vehicle, and it gets 43 miles to the gallon, which I think is pretty nice. And I saw that, and then I started looking for one, and I realized that they're all doing dealer markups on them, and they don't have them in stock. But they'll sell you one with window tint, nitro in the tires, desert protection packages. You know, they throw on about $3,000 or $4,000 worth of nonsense. So I was expecting to see cars like that on my list, on this list, more cars that were hybrid. Forget about electric. There's really no electric cars on here, are there?
Really, very few. The Taycan's on here.
Okay, and that's 100% electric. All the Taycans are electric. I thought
All,
they.
all of them, the whole platform.
Okay.
Yeah. The reason you might not be seeing some of those, it could be regional, but it could also be maybe they just didn't sell enough. Maybe they're sitting on 100% of the inventory and the units actually moved are not substantial enough to represent a trend line. I don't know. Speculation.
Oh,
Speculation.
speculation.
But
Wait. Biggest
yes.
premiums paid are for luxury vehicles. So
Yeah.
they're excluding. These are only luxury vehicles on this list. I don't know how
Like
to
the
rank it.
Malibu.
Well, this is the biggest premiums. The
Oh, the biggest premiums. Gotcha.
the
But they're including other vehicles.
they are because the Wrangler is not a
So
luxury vehicle in any way.
you said there's a ton of Silverados on the lot and they're selling them below MSRP. Malibu's big discount, Traverse, Buick. I wonder if GM's having any problems.
Well, I'll tell you, there's nothing else on the lot at this place. At the place that
Oh
I'm
no,
going.
that was a segue.
Oh shit! Shoot! Son of a bit. Son of a. All right. Yeah. I wonder if GM's
GM,
having any problems.
GM has offered buyouts to the majority of its U.S. salaried workers, which to me is a bad sign because when you offer across the board buyouts, the best people leave and go to your competition, and the worst people stay. And you lose whatever 30%, 50%, whatever the target is, and you go, well, I guess we can keep everybody else, and what you've kept is the people with no other prospects.
That is a good point. I worked at a company when they did that, and they did turn certain people down. So maybe GM is keeping that in place. I mean, they were offering, I think it was like 3 weeks per year that you worked, plus
Oh,
plus lifetime insurance, stuff like that. A crazy amount of money. So
that's a lot.
yeah, you're talking about people. Some people were there like 30 years, and they were like getting ready to retire. And like, oh yeah, well we'll give you 90 weeks of pay.
90 weeks.
You're like, okay, I guess I'll retire this week instead of next week.
Yeah.
But there were people that they would turn down and they would not let go.
Wow.
So hopefully they kept that in their back pocket.
Yeah.
And if you notice, it does say to the majority of U.S.
Right.
So that means there are people that are not on here. You watch Mary Barra take it. I'm out.
Well, part of the $2 billion cost cutting program by getting rid of, of salaried positions, there's always some fat you can trim, but this sounds aggressive. So we'll see. I'm concerned. I would, yeah. 58,000 U.S. white collar positions. If
Yeah.
you're, I don't know. I don't know who you cut. I think you have a lot of engineers, and I don't think you can afford to cut them.
I don't know. You know that I really believe that they've got to be smart enough to say no to some, and because the way it worked last time for me when I saw it at this other technology company was if they didn't get enough people, they were going to start cutting people. So they put that behind there also. But and then the longer you took, I think the longer you took to decide, the better the package got also, because they really needed to get rid of trim the fat, so to speak.
You got to wonder which cars are the best value, at least on a range for dollar basis.
And one of these spreadsheet freaks made it. Did you make this?
No, this was from somebody on Reddit. I don't have the name handy, but it's in my show notes in the description. They went through and calculated the base price, estimated range, and the dollars per mile of range that you get. Come up with some winners and losers. Ooh, Audi, $620 per mile of range. Ugh. Turbo S Taycan Cross Turismo, $855 per mile of range, which is unfair. It's going to be lower than that because they understate their mileage, their actual range.
Yeah,
Oof.
this is one of those times where they really want to actually put out the right numbers, but I'm sure they don't care about whoever this nice person was to create this beautiful flow chart for us. Not a flow chart, but
Yeah.
graph chart, whatever spreadsheet. But
Spreadsheet.
it is telling in a certain way, and I think it's one thing to look at because I know when I have been in a Mercedes dealership and I start looking at they've got a decent lineup now. You can see how many cars they have here, but you start looking at how much range you're getting for how much money it's costing you, and you're like, but this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, even the Model S on a dollar per range basis is not that bad of a deal. So that's interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's called. It's got more of a green tinge and a yellow or a red tinge.
Sure.
Red is always bad. I'm surprised people like aren't mad at the color red.
Uh-huh. If you look at the Chevy, the Bolt and the Bolt EUV,
Oh
very
yeah,
good deals. Very good deals. I'm surprised more people don't buy them.
you have to. But how do you factor in how you want to look while driving your car? How
If
do
you're Volkswagen,
how do you want to
poorly.
how do you want to feel when you're sitting at a charging station for a very long time in a Bolt?
Yeah. Fail Trains points out, I bet if they also calculated tire wear, the chart would look twice as bad. Yeah, Teslas can burn through some tires with a little bit of stomping on the pedal.
They got some pretty good traction control. I've never gotten my tires to spin on the Model
No,
S.
no, but you do go through tires just by virtue of enjoying the torque.
Yes, I did get the tires to spin on the Lucid Air, by the way.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Uh, who's Lucid?
Uh, they're a company that's financed by
No, no.
Silicon Valley Bank.
A Lucid that belongs to whom?
Not I.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because someone had asked you if you have a delivery date for yours yet.
No, I don't. And oh yeah, I do. William did. Last I was told was third quarter. Unless
William is
unless I upgrade the stereo.
William is graciously in both of the chats.
Oh, thank you,
Uh,
William.
yeah, yeah. Huh. Uh, so yeah, I mean, this is pretty good news for Tesla in terms of value. You know what else is a good value?
Let me
Tesla's,
guess.
yes,
Nope,
it's,
that's not a good segue.
the best, the best, nut holding on your steering wheel is none. So this is U.S. is probing Tesla Autopilot and steering wheels that can come off. Now, do you know how many complaints it took for them to open? That's correct. 2 out of 4 million cars. So that would be the same as the odds of a coin toss coming up tails 21 consecutive times.
I can do it.
I know you can. You just need to do it 2 million times. So that's a thing. But fortunately, for everyone else, Tesla's the only company that's ever had this complaint. Did you know that?
I
Oh, I see.
don't believe you.
I put them in different spots. The next link I have is actually, if you look at this article, oh darn, did I put it in the wrong spot? I did.
I got it
Never
in the
mind.
right spot. The Nissan
The
Aria.
the Nissan Aria, yes, yes.
Yeah, that was recalled because the steering wheel might fall
All
off.
right off. Now, surprisingly, this isn't front page news on every social media site, even though it's the exact same complaint with the exact same number of vehicles. 2 out of, in this case,
One,
thousands rather than millions.
a
A thousand.
thousand.
Yeah,
63.
1,000. So that makes it, yeah, 4,000 times more vehicles on a per vehicle basis.
Did you read the reason why?
No, please tell me.
May have been tightened incorrectly. Okay, wrong torque. I can get that. Or not
Sure.
installed.
Yeah.
Oops, I
Yep.
forgot the nut.
Yeah. But when you're driving a Nissan Urea, what are you gonna do?
It's pronounced urethra, by the way.
Your areola. This car, man, you got to go through focus groups before you come up with it, and make sure it's not a bunch of giggling 13-year-old boys who tell you it's a good idea. Yeah, ridiculous. So in better news, Tesla Plaid Model S now has a ceramic brake kit and can do 205 miles per hour.
For $20,000. And that is as long as you bought the upgraded wheels, the arachnid wheels or whatever they're called.
Right.
You have to have those for this brake kit. Now, I was going through this article. I was just a little confused. They said they got it up to like 217 miles per hour on the speedometer, but they translated that into 200 and 205 miles per hour based on a GPS reading. Mm-hmm. Is the speedometer not accurate over 200?
So speedometers are already not accurate because there's a NHTSA rule that says if you're inaccurate if you underestimate speed, you can get these huge fines. So when you compare your GPS speed to your speedo speed, your GPS will almost always say you're going faster. What you
faster
probably need is a variety of metrics or just a radar. So
you do realize, at least in the old days with mechanical speedometers, if your speedometer is saying you're going faster than you actually are, you're actually going to be putting on more miles.
Right. And I don't know. I haven't been able to find info on it, but it may detach those two things, those two metrics, to give you a real number for the odometer and an estimated number for the speed.
Why don't they just use GPS? Ooh.
Or blend them. More work. And if NHTSA wants to put up stupid rules, they put up stupid rules. So that was a problem they had with Tesla's rolling stops in autopilot. The computer was required to use an inaccurate measure of speed to do some of its maneuvers. And Elon even tweeted at them saying, these are your stupid rules that are breaking it, so maybe make them better. And 20,000 is a lot, but apparently even a decent aftermarket kit is 15,000. So it's not that big of a premium.
I don't know where you're shopping for brakes, but I go to AutoZone and they're like $100.
That does not include the rotors. Or the that's just pads, man.
It's just another $200 for that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you should just do that. You should make you should have a shop that does $500 retrofits for brakes that will probably stop you eventually.
At-home carbon ceramic brake kit.
I made them in my own kiln.
But you know they must be doing some reprogramming, because how's the car going to know that it's got the upgraded kit? So they have to do some reprogramming on the car also.
Yeah, William pointed out, you know who has the best brakes in the business? Callahan Motors. Big Tom's boy.
Yeah, Big Tom's boy.
They almost sold out to Zelensky, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. 15, probably 20 years ago now, but I think they're still independent.
Are they? Well, good for them.
Good for them. Best company in Sandusky I'm aware of.
I can't believe that you remember all those names.
I've watched that movie probably 50 times.
Yeah, but so have I, but I can't even remember my kids' names. I got them tattooed on my arm just for that reason.
So Mitsubishi is going to be mainly a BEV brand by 2035 with 4, yes, count them, 4 EVs, including an electric pickup.
Did you know that Tesla is going to be a mainly BEV brand by 2012?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Did you know that Mitsubishi is maybe going to still be a brand by 2035?
Maybe.
Would you bet? Would you Would you take even odds on their survival? Because I wouldn't.
I don't know. That's pretty tough. Is it?
Even odds? I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it. So that's great.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
great.
with you on that. You know what? They deserve to go under just because of what they did with the Eclipse. So,
What'd they do?
well, you remember the Eclipse, the car?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mitsubishi Eclipse, 2-seater. You can get
Yeah.
in a convertible.
Yeah.
Cool car. I had one.
Loved it.
I had a 2005 convertible. Ooh, me. Yeah, I thought I was all that, and I was briefly. But they got rid of the car, which was first problem, and then they brought the name back and put it into some ugly little crossover SUV called like the Eclipse Sport or something. And
Terrible.
they had a brand name that was like their specific brand name that they had that they could have rode on that, and they said, "Oh yeah, we could make a great crossover SUV, and then we could watch it all fail together." Which
That'd be like taking a dumb, ugly crossover SUV and calling it a
Mach-E.
Mustang.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, I will say that the saving grace on what Ford did, I think, was the fact that the Mach-E does not suck.
No, I've got coming up, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, an interview with the couple who runs the Mach-E channel, who I've met at a couple different events now. That should be interesting.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Mach-E can schedule your charging better than a $100,000 Model S.
Yeah, and that's stupid and disappointing.
In you, Mr. Musk. Brian called you stupid. I'm calling you disappointing.
I have deep regrets now because he definitely watches this channel.
Mm-hmm.
He is one of the 42 viewers on right now. I am certain of it.
He's on my channel. He's viewer number 37. I have 38.
I'm going to guess it's Steve Sutton in my chat because Steve has been on fire today with some really great comments. It's got to be him.
Yeah.
So I see you, Steve. Hey, do you know Volkswagen is going to be building a battery factory?
Oh, how many does this make?
Well, in the U.S., I think this just makes one, but they've got a bunch.
I see Canada.
Well, North America.
Okay.
This will still count as domestic production in terms of the tax credit.
Yeah.
So that's
that's good for them.
Yeah.
Let's make some batteries and we'll put in something really ugly.
For that matter, I'm going to skip to the BYD one. We'll come back to the Tesla one in a second. BYD has begun construction of a Thailand plant with annual capacity of 150,000 units. It's not very many.
No, it was. I saw that. That was my first reaction. Was that's not a lot. That is not a lot. Maybe it's something that they'll be able to expand on.
Well, I think it's going to be not for export. So in Thailand, I noticed that every taxi was a Toyota. And it was explained to me by my friend who lived there that was by law. When they said, Toyota, please come build a factory, they said, we're not sure we're going to be able to sell enough cars. And they said, oh, well, we'll make it the law that all taxis must be Toyotas. So all taxis by law, apparently, according to my friend, were Toyotas. Maybe something like that is going to happen where they're getting some kind of deal that all taxis will be BYDs or the government will buy a specific number. But I think 150,000 is just for domestic consumption and not for export.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that seems very un-American for them to do something like that with Toyota. But then again, it's not America. They can do whatever they want.
I have heard that about countries that are not America.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the one. Tesla has walked away from public funding for superchargers because of payment system integration. Thanks. I think it was Who Is This in the chat who gave me this link before the show started. If it wasn't, you can just set me straight there. But apparently, in order to qualify for this $6 million of funding, they would have to add a payment system at each station, which would cost more than $6 million to do and is old-fashioned and dumb.
And may never actually be used except by the teenage boys who come up with their knife and scrape their initials into the screen.
Yes, a red box has never been vandalized, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's just more, what is it? What's your line? Less parts? The best part is no part? Why add that in? And I know it's not your line, it's someone else's. The guy who's hiding in the comments.
Yeah, Steve Sutton, of course.
The guy you call stupid.
Oh, that was before I knew who he was. Yeah. And I apologize.
Yes.
Yeah, Marty Party says stupid government red tape. And it is. This is a legacy idea that a gas pump has to have a credit card swipe. And it doesn't. Maybe
they should require the little horse tie downs at all the electric charging stations also.
A hitching post.
Yeah, that's what they're called. A hitching post. Let's put those in there too. Oh, I got a story from these people who are living in the past. I went to the car wash today, and I've got a car that has a front license plate that says no gas. It's on an Ioniq 5, and I put that there because the dealership screwed the front license plate bracket in there with 7 screws. And when I took it off, I realized that my entire front bumper was damaged. So I put it back on there. I bought a license plate, Arizona license plate, and it says no gas. And I stuck it on the front just so it doesn't look stupid. And this kid at the car wash comes up to me and starts lecturing me. You know, this car, in order to make it used more minerals, and to mine the minerals for it, they use gas for that. And I look at him, and then he turns around and he walks away. And he comes back over because he's got to do the car wash thing. And he comes back over. He's like, "What do you think about that? The fact that it uses more gas than a regular car to mine all the minerals?" I think that's a pretty ignorant statement. You really don't look at the big picture of anything. So he probably has a hitching post to lead his horses through the car wash. But yeah, I got assaulted by a kid today, verbally assaulted, and I was triggered,
flooded with absolute stupidity. So that's like saying, "Oh, you like steak? You know what cows eat? Vegetables." Okay. I don't know what the relevance is to this conversation.
Yeah.
The increasingly mining is done with electrified vehicles, some very big ones.
And that's what I told them.
And in Australia, there's electric mining operations that are fed with wind and solar. Now, the transportation from the mine back to wherever is done with fossil fuel, but we're working on it. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Yeah. Once you pick out one little thing that you think is right and think that destroys the whole concept. And remember, those trucks, when they go downhill, they regen all the power they need to get back up the hill.
Yes. If they're coming down the hill full, they have enough energy to get back up the hill empty in many cases. Honda Wired said, "The kid had a point, but the wrong info. Fact is, we need crude for many other byproducts other than gasoline. With all the amazing benefits, apparently I'd read once that aspirin is made with petroleum. With all the great things you can do with petroleum, burning it seems like a pretty dumb idea."
That is true. That is true. But let's not get caught up on the kid at the car wash.
Sure.
I'm going to go back.
Lightship has unveiled their L1 electric RV trailer capable of maintaining the full range of the EV towing it. It's this cool little pop-up trailer that's very early in development. Kyle from Out of Spec tweeted today that he will not be reviewing it because they had some very strict restrictions on what he could discuss and what he couldn't. And he said, if it's that early in production, we can't talk about it. If they won't let me review it, without training wheels on, I'm not going to review it at all. Yeah. So there's a lot of logistics questions that come up, but maybe this will work, and at least we'll have an opportunity to find out.
Okay. Well, I think it's kind of a cool concept. I like the idea that they made it into a pop-up. And I don't know how familiar you are with RVs. I'm more than a little familiar with them, but they do have RVs where the entire body, you've got kinds where the top just goes up, and then you've got soft sides, and then you've got other pop-ups where the top part will come up and connect to the bottom part, so it's all actually hard shell all the way around it. This looks like it would be the hard shell all the way around it, and I mean there are some difficulties with things like that. Like you have to get it to all the motors to raise it have to go in synchrony, and you can't have one go bad, or you actually have a trailer that's 4 feet tall inside. I've never owned one, but I like the whole concept, and it does take away the whole wind resistance problem. It's interesting to see that they're using the batteries to actually power the wheels on the RV. That seems a little scary to me. It seems a little dangerous.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
I thought they were going to use the battery to charge the truck, but then I don't know if you could get the power throughput quick enough.
No, you'd have to use it to recharge when you're parked. No car is going to let you drive while plugged in.
Yeah,
So, but that's fine. If you get halfway there, oh no, you're right. Because if you get halfway there, what are you going to do? Park and recharge from your trailer instead? Yeah, I don't know. There's some questions left to be answered, but at least they're working on it.
yeah, they're working on it. I want to address Deeps' comment. He says that he agrees with that kid. It's stupid to force EV vehicles before they have a green infrastructure. Deeps, you've been watching this show long enough that you know that I agree with that. I'm not in favor of mandating anything. If electric cars are truly better, they'll be able to stand on their own and take over the horses that are using the gasoline right now, because they are old school, and I think that good old capitalism will beat them out. And that's why one of the reasons why Tesla's been able to survive is by making superior cars, and people will realize that they're cheaper to run, cheaper to maintain, and they're funner than crap as long as they're not a Bolt.
um, I would say an exception to that is in dense urban areas where air quality problems have gotten out of control. But there's going to be applications for fossil fuel beyond, you for quite some time. I believe a carrot is more important than a stick. And yeah, because anytime you introduce the stick, you get some perverse incentives that can have unintended consequences.
How perverse.
Ah. Well, I won't say how much I paid. Now, do you know that Tesla's preparing for the Cybertruck production and has begun hiring Giga Texas?
That is very interesting, and I'm still going to be very excited to see this vehicle out on the road. Remember, I'm sorry, did you see the article about the frunk? And then the frunk was going to be just the top, and then the frunk was going to be the full front, like the F-150?
I have seen speculation of both, and I don't think it would be terribly difficult for them to make the whole front open. I don't know if it would be attached to the hood, though. What I think they would probably be better doing is having it pop up that way, or having a lift gate that pops down, so you've got a little shelf or loading area or bench. I don't know.
You called it a lift gate, but on the back they call it a tailgate. So wouldn't they call it like a front gate?
Hmm. A front gate. Yeah, they would.
Yeah.
That's. I don't think it would be an engineering obstacle necessarily to make that happen. And I agree the utility would be substantially better, because reaching up and over into that frunk for someone like me, even with the air suspension all the way down, would be unpleasant.
Yeah. You know what I'm worried about with this truck? When they start coming out on the road, there's going to be people out there. They're going to find every little single thing wrong and go, look at this, and there's going to be. I expect there to be quality issues when they first start off. So I really hope they're bringing their A game on the introduction of this new vehicle and have the quality issues. I know the paint's going to be perfect, absolutely perfect. Other than that, I just don't want to see all the haters going, and hopefully they can also do something about that wiper blade.
So we've got a couple suggestions on the front. Steve Sutton, again, on fire today. Heads and tails, it's the head gate. John Yent suggested Frugate. Frigate.
I've got a nose gate and a beer gate over here.
Oh, I like it. Cybergate sounds like a scandal to me, John.
How about Watergate? Oh wait, that's taken.
Yeah, Watergate Gate was a big scandal. You have to add gate for the scandal, and the hotel was anyway. The
Cybergate. The Cybergate.
My insider is suggesting that there is quite a long list of job postings on the internal Tesla job posting portal, which may exceed the number that's on here. I'm not sure on that part.
I would hope that they pick people off of the existing line, the Model Y line, move them over to the Cybertruck. One, because the more people that know how to do multiple things, the better. But that way they can bring in people, train them on the Y that they know how to produce, and take some of their experienced people, put them on the Cybertruck and say, all right, guys. So
yeah,
I think that
I agree completely. Digital Blade Canada pointed out that all of Elon's scandals are elongate, which is true. True. Speaking of scandals, oh no, never mind. That's not time for that segue.
Yeah. Well,
we're still on Giga Mexico. Could receive final permits this month. Produce vehicles next year.
Yeah, the administrators in Mexico they're waiting on their cash payment to get those permits through.
I don't think so. When you've got the full will of the entire government, you kind of have to accept some deep discounts on your usual bribery fees. So it would be international embarrassment if the permits were held up due to a lack of bribes this early on. It could kill the deal.
Yeah, I think you want to start the bribery once a decent investment has been made.
Yeah.
So once you put a lot of money into it.
I've got a video coming out in the morning all about what this means. So that's a good one. If you're not subscribed, what on earth are you doing? And that's on the main channel, My Tesla Weekend.
Hold on a second. 4Q says the Cybertruck has the same thing around the wheels like the buzz forks. That is incorrect, because on the Cybertruck, that is just a molding around the tire, where the buzz forks, the entire fender is plastic. The entire fender all the way to the hood.
It is quite different. It is quite different. But now we're speaking of scandals. Do you know that Tesla has won a defamation lawsuit against a popular Chinese car reviewer? See, what happened was...
That is scandalous.
This TikToker, Boss Kai, damaged their reputation by making these big claims, spreading false rumors that he swore, no, these are real. I know this guy. It's real. So they sued him and said, awesome, your buddy needs to testify. And he said, oh, he can't. He just can't. And I said, yeah, that's not a real thing then.
Because he forgot his name.
I'm sure that's why. So, yeah, in China at least, Tesla takes aggressive action against outright misinformation. Yeah. So that's good. But this is the one I wanted to get to. Did you hear about the Tesla owner who says his app unlocked a stranger's car and let him drive off with it?
I don't believe this story.
I don't believe it for a second. Let me make sure. Oh, this isn't the one. Damn it. Damn it. Okay, we'll get back to the other one in a minute. But yeah, this is... you have firsthand experience with more than one Tesla. Tell me why this is complete nonsense.
Well, I just think whatever the software is that's tied into it, it's just not going to read another car. I walk past Teslas all day long at the parking garage, and the only thing they ever say to me is flash their Sentry mode lights at me. Some of them. I've never had another car unlock. It's just tied into your Bluetooth of your phone.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to it.
It's ridiculous.
Of course, there's a key card, but I know that you could leave your key card on the Model Y. You could leave it inside the center console, as opposed to right on the edge of the center console where you're supposed to put it if you're not using your phone, which is literally 6 inches away, and the car will not work. If you don't have that key card right up against the door post, the B pillar, it will not let you in. I do not believe this story. I do not think that it's real.
There's a couple other parts to it that make it obviously ridiculous. The second is the guy whose car it was also able to get into his car. That's also not a thing. And then he rifled through it and found the guy's name and phone number on a piece of paper. How do you know who you're calling? Called him, and they realized the mistake. And then he drove around for another hour and a half doing errands, running errands, before returning. No part of this story makes sense. It's ridiculous.
In your car, how many times do you think your phone number is written down on something in there?
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero. Now, if he'd have said, oh, he found my business card holder, saw 20 business cards and figured it must be me and called it, that would make sense. But he didn't think the lie through that far. Now, I apologize, Bear, but I'm going to go back to another story here. The one of the Tesla, where is it? There's the lawsuit. Oh, the investigation on the wheels. Because there was a follow-up to it I had. All the way back, it's the AP story. U.S. probes Tesla autopilot and steering wheels that came off. Now, in this story, this raised some suspicions for me. And let me find, where is the guy's name? In one complaint, the owner says he was driving with his family when the steering wheel suddenly came off. But he was still able to pull towards the road divider. It was a horrible experience, the car's owner, Prerak Patel, told the AP. And I thought, oh good, I've got a first and last name. I should plug that into the old Googles and see who comes up. And here's a fella on LinkedIn who was at the time of the complaint working for Argo AI.
Is this Dan O'Dowd's company?
No, Argo AI was the joint venture between VW and Ford that was trying to do autonomous driving and then folded because both of those companies pulled funding.
Okay.
So at the time of the complaint, Prerak Patel, if this is the same one, and on Google's, I cannot find many more.
Well, Patel's a very common name.
Patel's a very common name. Prerak less so, but I'm sure it is. This may be the same person. So I'm just saying, if you've got complaints about weird Tesla things that are extremely uncommon, and autopilot, and the complaint comes from someone.
Wait a minute. Yeah, Patel's car. What year was it?
I don't know. Does it say?
Well, it says that they've received 2 complaints about Model Ys. They were both 2023s, with a missing bolt holding the wheel to the steering column, and a friction fit held the steering wheels on. And they separated when force was exerted as the SUVs were driven. Okay, but the Patel guy, he says that Tesla Service Center gave him a cost estimate of $103.96. If this was a 2023, why would they be charging him?
That makes 0 sense whatsoever. Yeah. The whole story is weird. So,
and it's weirder because Patel was, and I saw this a couple weeks ago, he was given the choice of keeping the car or getting it replaced with a new car. When does that happen? We'll just give you a new car because it's missing a part or a part broke. It's got to, under lemon laws, it's got to break like several times, the same thing. Mm-hmm. So why would was this like hush money?
That doesn't make any sense. So this story, you know, and the fact that there's a reasonable chance that at least one of the complaints, or rather 50% of the complaints, were filed by someone working for a rival company. It's just bizarre. It's not bizarre, it's suspicious.
Yeah, you know what else is bizarre? Most of this article actually talks about other problems with Teslas and not the actual steering wheel issue.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
Can we focus a little bit?
No. No, because you keep swearing at me.
I would like to, but not in the first 15 seconds of the show would I ever do that.
I appreciate that, but I am delighted to know that YouTube has relaxed their controversial profanity and monetization rules following creator backlash.
Yeah, I didn't even know this was a thing. Well, actually, I did because I've been taking medicine to control my Tourette's so that this wouldn't become an issue on the channel. But no, I really can't see why this is a thing that they were demonetizing videos where people were swearing within the first 15 seconds of the show. Did people have some really raunchy intros or something?
It was much worse than that. They would take videos that had been published years ago and demonetize them now for profanity in the middle of them. It was very aggressive. And in their announcement, they even said, we're no longer going to count as swear words hell and damn.
Those did count?
Those are... My rule is, if they show it on primetime broadcast television, it's not a swear word.
They've got shows called Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, demonetized. That's Hex Kitchen, my friend.
Yeah, you know, my kids would watch that show and they would. I'm watching Hex Kitchen. They wouldn't say it.
Oh, Honda Wired says, but you're not allowed to roll a tobacco cigarette, as that could be promoting illicit drug use. Wild.
Yeah, well, you know, it's YouTube, so. I've got some more questions about the flyover situation. We have been busy, so just to give everyone who's here an update, we've been extremely busy. We foolishly keep buying more cars, and not at a dealer markup. We don't do that. But we tried to get out there today, and the drone decided to back out of its login and said, "You're not logged in. You cannot fly until you do this update," which the updates at home with our fast connection will take an hour or so because it can be several gigs going into this tiny little wireless channel. So we had to bring the drone back. We were all there at Nikola. We saw 7 or 8 trucks going in and out of the factory, going on road tests outside of the Nikola site. Lots of activity. Got no pictures. But we're going to try again in the morning. So we're hoping to have a Nikola and Lucid flyover tomorrow.
Yeah. Fun story. I don't know if you ever watched a show called Tosh.0, but he decided he was going to say the most obscene word ever that wasn't bleeped. So what he did is he made up a word, and he said, after this airs, I want you guys to go on Urban Dictionary and define it and make it real, real nasty. And it wasn't bleeped, and I don't remember what the definition was, but I don't imagine they could have read it the next week. Kevin says we need the George Carlin 7 words you can't say on YouTube. It would be more than 7, my friend.
Oh yeah. It's a list.
Yeah, YouTube is pretty stupid. I had a podcast for a while, and they would demonetize just everything. It would be, I would make jokes. I had a series where I would make jokes about what I want for my funeral preparation, and I would say things like, I want my remains scattered, but I don't want to be cremated. And they're like, oh, this involves death. You're demonetized. I was talking about the situation with difficulties with prescription drug pricing, and like, oh, nope, that's pharmaceutical. We can't monetize that. Movie reviews would always end up with the studios getting all my revenue. And I would have a 60-minute show that I put 40 hours into producing, and they would demonetize it over a 20-second clip. All the money for the entire show would go to that, to whoever's material I was absolutely covering under the fair use. So I shut it down. Shut it down. Couldn't deal with those bastards. Am I allowed to say that this late in a video?
Oh, no, you can't say it in the last 10 seconds of a video. So we're going to have to say our goodbyes and drag it more than 10 seconds.
I don't think it's 10 seconds from the end. That'd be funny, though. Uh-huh.
It'd be even harder. Between the 43% and 57% of a video's time frame, you can't say certain words, including the word the and or but.
Wow. That's what it feels like YouTube already does. So, oh, ridiculous. And you can't use even asterisked out profanities in your thumbnail, which is stupid. Genuinely pants on head stupid.
So,
yeah.
That
That
sounds like a great time.
Do we know? So anyway, I will thank my patrons who get early access, bonus content, all that good stuff. I've got a new one, Jesse Chimney. Thank you for joining at the mega level. Super, super cool. Yeah.
All right, I want to thank my patrons for being the best that there is. I do appreciate your support. We will be getting a video out tomorrow, unless something really strange happens. But we're not expecting anything too strange. We'll get that done for you guys tomorrow. Nikola Lucid video coming in the 8 p.m. It's going to take
JJ said, you guys will talk about YouTube, but not Nikola. Anything to avoid that N-word. I don't think there's any Nikola news. I looked.
Yeah, there's really not any Nikola news. We don't really comment on like analysts. Nikola had an analyst put out something positive yesterday, but that's really not something that we get into.
Isn't it enough that I have the world's foremost Nikola expert on this show with me every week?
Is he a ghost? Because I don't see him.
I don't. I mean, nobody covers it quite as thoroughly as you.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been covering it lately, so I apologize to you guys for that. But it is what it is. We got to make money first. So
On to Wired just used the word balderdash. I might have to give you a timeout for that. I don't know.
Ooh.
I was gonna click it just to be a wise but I didn't. So.
Oh, I'd like to dash those boulders.
Wow, that took a turn.
Woo!
All right. Well, I thank everyone for tuning in. I thank Bear for your time. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
All
we
right.
might do some stuff to mix up the format a little bit, just to keep it fresh and lively and interesting, and try and make it broaden the appeal a little, because we've been doing this for 72 weeks, and growth is challenging.
Yeah, and we really need... I know it's not the most exciting show out there, but it's probably the second most. So, we're sitting at 37 viewers. We're rocking it. So...
Daniel Carson asked me, how was Starbase? I made a whole video about it. It was breathtaking. It was very difficult to describe the sheer scale of it, how close you can get to the rocket garden. It's unbelievable. You must go.
Right now? You want me to go?
Yeah, would you? Because I'll just wait. I'll just wait while you do that.
Okay. I'll be right back.
All right. Take care, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.